trading a stock based on news and you don't understand the news is good, why is the stock crashing? Talking about this idea that you really just don't know the news well enough to base your trades off the news. Talking about it in this video, just this overall idea that the market is going to price these stocks that we trade at the appropriate price based on the news that's coming out. Talking about it in this video, let's go. Come on. All right, so here's an example. It's early in the morning. You just found a stock. It has news. The news looks really, really good, right? Partnerships, phase 1 trial news, all this great news. It's just an amazing news. But for some reason, the stock is not going higher. And you think to yourself, well, maybe it's time to buy the dip. I should be buying the dip, right? The news is so good. I need to buy more. This makes no sense. Why is the stock dropping? So now you just double down. And again, you're reading the news and you're wondering to yourself, phase 1 trial results. The news is good. I'm tripling down. All right, now the stock is plummeting. And you're still holding the stock because you don't understand why it's going lower. Why is the stock going lower when it has good news? What you think is good news might not actually mean anything. There's a lot more to it when it comes down to understanding how news moves stocks. And the problem here is that you need to understand really just overall what is going on with these stocks. Now, first off, remember, these PR news releases that you're seeing are written by PR firms, are written by the company themselves. So they're not going to tell you the bad news. They're not going to tell you, hey, you shouldn't buy this stock because there might be an issue in the future. All they're going to tell you is, hey, we got really good news today. This is great news. We got phase 1 trial news and we're really excited. And the whole PR is going to look amazing, right? The PR is going to talk about everything that's good. So right off the bat, you got to think to yourselves, what is the purpose of this PR in the first place? What are they trying to do? They're trying to pump the price of the stock. A lot of these biotech companies are only running off of the money that they can create by selling more shares, by their share price and stuff like that. So their goal is to constantly raise more money. And how do they do that? They do it by offering shares, by pumping the price, by doing all kinds of weird stuff with the shares and stuff like that. So you need to always understand that the news, that the PR that's coming out, almost 99% of the time, the only goal of this PR is to pump the share price. So all the news is hitting the PR wires, everybody's seeing the news, people are starting to trade it, and it's starting to go higher. But then, like I said, for some reason the stock is now plummeting. Well, why is it plummeting? Because there's something else going on. And at the end of the day, you're just not going to be smart enough. You're not going to be fast enough. You're not going to really understand the bigger picture. And that's not to say that I understand the bigger picture either. A lot of times I'll see news and I'll be like, wow, this is really good news. But the stock is not doing anything. Or the stock isn't going higher. And I've learned to not trade off of news specifically. If I see a stock that has really good news, but then I see other things about it that look bearish, I might tell myself, hey, this could be a good short. Because what's going to happen? The stock's going to pump up and then it's going to get crashed back down. So you really need to remember that at the end of the day, you're not an analyst. You're not a professional analyst who is able to analyze these companies, their financials, their news, and everything that's going on with them. You just aren't going to be able to compete with an analyst firm with money who has people who are professionals, who know exactly how to read these companies' financials. They understand the biotech space. They see the entire industry. So if a company comes out saying they have an amazing new drug and there's a big PR about it, the stock then jumps up 50% and everyone thinks it's going to the moon. And personally for me, I don't have the time, or I'm not going to put in the effort to really learn all about the biotech drug space, pharmaceuticals and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm a day trader and I'm going to trade the chart. And if the chart is telling me that this news is bad, that the news really isn't good, that it's just a fluff piece, all we're trying to do is pump the share price, and then I can figure out if the company has a shelved offering, if they've got, other bad stuff going on, they have a lot of debt, are they running out of money? What's the real deal here? You're not going to be able to understand these companies better than somebody who spends all day long researching and somebody who gets paid as an analyst, or a big time firm that's investing in these companies or maybe shorting these companies. No matter what the news is, even if it's the most bullish news in the world, like you think it's the most amazing news ever, Just because you think it's good news does not mean it's going to move the share price the way you want it. I've seen this happen so many times where I thought the news was good, I end up buying the stock, and then the stock crashes. And then I'm like, what? So what did I do? Why would I do that? So although I look at the news, I'll take a look at what's going on with the news on a stock just to see kind of, okay, what is going on, just to make sure it's not something that I can just clearly identify as maybe like a buyout or something like that. But in general, I'll look at the news, but at the end of the day, I'm focused on the chart. What is the chart telling me? What is the market pricing? How is the market reacting? Is this news good enough to send this stock to the moon, or is the news going to fizzle really quickly? A good indicator for that is looking at the volume, just looking at the overall price action. Is the stock looking strong? Is it moving higher? What's really going on here? I see people posting about this all the time. They're confused. They don't know why the stock is not going higher when it has good news. But it's simple. At the end of the day, these companies are releasing PR fluff pieces constantly, trying to increase their share prices. But if you look at the overall picture on almost all these biotech companies, the stock is just going lower. So you need to always be thinking about that. Just because you think the stock price should go higher because of the news does not mean it's going to. And the last thing that you want to be doing is being a massive bag holder, buying these pumped up stocks that are fluffed up on PR, buying them and then holding them for months or weeks or however long you think you can hold it for until the stock price possibly goes back higher. But remember, a lot of these biotech companies, they just keep going down and down and down, and then they have reverse splits. So by the end of it all, you're going to be so diluted and just out of everything, you're not going to have any chance of making your money back. So always think about that. At the end of the day, the market is going to price these stocks at the appropriate price. There's a lot of people out there with a lot more money than us and a lot more brains who can understand everything about these companies a lot better than we can. So you just got to kind of have faith in the overall market and the idea that the market is going to price the stock at the appropriate price based on the news. And you're not an expert when it comes down to understanding what the actual news is. Really something that I had a battle with for the longest time. Like I said, I was always reading the news. I'm like, oh, this is really, really good news. But I'd end up getting screwed because I thought I knew more than the market knew. You learn that lesson pretty quickly. You are not smarter than the market. So there it is. The next time a news piece comes out and you think it's really, really bullish, think twice. Think twice.